Okay, it looks like we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm Leila Mireskandari, if you know me. And if you don't know me, I'm Leila Mireskandari, founder of Kids Growing City. And I am here today to talk to you about a brand new program, a brand new classroom garden program that we are opening applications for in January. So we have already opened up a wait list for it, and there is a page that explains to some extent what's included in the program. This is a program for teachers and schools. You might know me by the Oasis Box lately. So, uh, but what you might not know, so this is the Oasis Box. It's a program for kids on how to grow food. So they actually get material and educational material and supplies and things like that every month that we send to their homes with which they actually do very small projects of growing their own food. It can be done indoors or it can be done outdoors. It's all year round, and even during winter time. As you know, it gets pretty cold around here in winter time. So we've been doing this for the past 2 years. But what you might not know about me and Kids Growing City is that it actually got started all with school gardening programs. So in 2013, we started school gardening programs. I did it all by myself back then. There was no Kids Growing City as an organization back then. I was just a mother who wanted to bring this growing food activity into the schools and the school environment because I saw the gap. Long story short, in 2019, so we expanded the program, and in 2019, right before, like the year before COVID, we actually built 15 school gardens here in Greater Toronto area in different schools, private and public schools, mostly public schools, as an in school program. So our program is very much curriculum connected, and that's why we actually can provide it as an in-school program using the instructional time that the teachers have with their students. So we used to go in the classrooms and run these programs. Now, as you know, after COVID hit, schools were closed in Ontario in 2020, and it actually got closed in March, which was exactly the time that spring started and our programs would usually run. So obviously we couldn't go to any of the schools in 2020. And in 2021, we actually pivoted our program. And instead of, because we were not able to go to schools in 2021 as vendors, obviously because of safety, COVID-related safety reasons. So what we did is that we pivoted our program into an online program for the teachers. So essentially we gave everything that we had in our program, all our lesson plans and instructions and even videos on how to actually run these lesson plans that we had in your classroom and all that to the teachers so that they can do it with our coaching and support. Unfortunately, what happened in 2021, as you probably remember, is that in Ontario, we had another school shutdown, COVID related, and school gardens that got started were abandoned one more time. And well, obviously, those schools who participated in our program weren't able to actually finish the program because there were no students at the school to grow the school gardens. Now, Why am I telling you all this? Is because I want you to have a little bit of a history of about what I'm about to show you, because this year we actually have come up with a program for schools and and teachers that we're very proud of. Um, and it is very much more logistically flexible, and it is actually online friendly as well. So, and it has nothing to do with the school garden. Not that it has nothing to do with it, obviously. Gardening and gardens, outdoor gardens, are always related. I mean, you can always extend it to your outdoor garden if you do have the space. But if you don't have the space in your school and in the as an outdoor garden, then this program would be perfect for you, because it's all about growing inside the classrooms. It's the inspiration actually came from the success that we had with the Oasis Box, and that's why we're calling this program Oasis Classroom, because it's similar to this. It's not going to come in a box like this, but it is going to come in packages. So it starts with the main program, that it is for our lesson, like a package for teachers, a booklet for a student for 15 lessons. The lessons start, because it's season related work. It starts on the third week of February, and it goes all the way to end of May. We're going to leave June alone so that you can actually celebrate with your students and have harvest and set up markets if you want to sell your seedlings and all those kinds of things that are outside of this program. But we get you there so that you can use the seedlings and the plants that your kids grow throughout these 15 weeks for other community related things and celebrations and things like that in June. So the program starts in February, excuse me, third week of February, and it goes all the way to the end of May. And it's 15 lessons, one lesson per week. So the online portion of the program is that your teachers will have access to 15 packages, and every one of the packages include a lot of different educational material. And I'm going to actually share my screen, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going to be in these packages. But so that's the online. But for the Greater Toronto area schools, we actually can provide all the supplies, all the seeds, and all the organic seeds, organic soil, all the seed starter cups and buckets, and craft material. Every lesson has a small different twist to it, and all the supplies that go with the lesson, we can provide that. So that's an add-on service that we're providing. Also, all the cute, beautiful student booklets for all these 15 lessons, as well as the lesson plans and posters and everything that helps you assist the teachers to run this program with a lot of success and engagement from their students. We can also print professionally and deliver to you, just like we deliver the Oasis boxes to our parents. We would deliver these to our schools and teachers in form of packages. Now, the good thing about this, and the huge difference that this program this year will have with our previous programs, is that it is online friendly, and even if schools are shut down, you can continue teaching the lessons to your students. All that needs to happen is, when you're sending students home, you send with them, and the packages come in individual student packages, so that you can actually send them home with everything else that your students take home, their jacket and shoes and, backpacks and all of that. They would also, each one of them would take a package for the rest of the program. Whenever shutdowns happen, hopefully they will not ever happen again, but if they do happen, you just send the package home and you continue teaching them online with the material and the materials all available to you for downloads online. So the student booklets can be downloaded and shared with your students week by week. So this makes it possible so that even if shutdowns happen, the program continues and your students will actually grow the food at home, and if that happens, and hopefully that won't happen, and you're going to be in your schools all the way throughout, all the way to the end of the school year, hopefully this year, fingers crossed. And the idea is for your classroom to become an oasis and this hub of growth, environmental stewardship. Obviously, growing your own food goes with a lot of very important values that we want to teach our children and the next generation. It is very much in line with traditional ecological knowledge of indigenous peoples. So you can very well connect it to that. It goes very well with your STEM program. It is, again, environmental stewardship. It's food literacy, because as you know, food literacy has two very main important parts. One is how food is grown, and the other is how food is prepared. So growing food and preparing food. And growing food would be the main part of this program. And a little bit of a preparing food, but our focus is on the growing food part of the food literacy that you're bringing to your classrooms. Now, a question that we always get asked, and we are getting asked this question, especially about this program as well, is that usually teachers are like, okay, I don't have a lot of extra time to add on another program to what I'm already teaching. So this is not an extra thing that you're adding on, because it's all thoroughly curriculum connected. So essentially, you will be teaching your math, science, social studies, health and physical education, all those topics, while your students are growing the gardens, the classroom gardens. Now, allow me to share my screen. Hopefully, I hope that you can see my screen. So this is, if you want to learn more about the program, all you need to know, you need to go to, let me show the banner here. So kidsgrowingcity.ca/Oasis Classroom wait, because this is not, we're not selling this program yet. The application will open in January, but this is a wait list. So it gives you the information as we develop it, because it hasn't all been developed yet. And you can join a wait list for it. So as we develop the different details about the program, you can actually stay in the loop. So we will send emails to the people who are on the wait list about it. So as you can see, if you go to this page, Oasis Classroom wait page, let's go through the title. It's very curriculum rich. As I mentioned, it connects to your STEM program. It's very logistically flexible. It's online friendly. And again, well, I'll tell you about it later. It aligns with Indigenous learning, environmental stewardship, and much, much more. It's very curriculum rich. And why do I say it's curriculum rich? Because as you can see, first of all, it's very curriculum centered. All of the 15 lessons come with curriculum connections for grades 3 to 8. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is for grades 3 to 8. And it all comes with curriculum connection chart that tells you for math, lesson 1 connects to these topics, lesson 2 connects to these topics, and so on and so forth. And for language, lesson 1 connects to these topics. And so for every lesson, and this, we will give you the curriculum chart for all of the grades, all of the lessons, all the 15 lessons for all 15 for all grades 3 to 8 and for all the subjects. And if you go down a little bit, these are just samples. So as you can see, for math, language, science, social studies, and health and physical education, if you click on them, I'll click on one of them, you can see over here that this is only for one of the lessons, which is the Seeds and Seedlings lesson for grade 4 math. And these are the different topics, as you can see the check marks, that this particular lesson for grade 4 connects to curriculum expectations in math. So this is really a comprehensive, thorough program that you can use inside your classrooms while you're teaching your curriculum. So that's why I'm saying this is not on top of what you are doing. This is a creative way of teaching your curriculum while you're bringing a lot more into it in terms of connecting your students to good food, food literacy, environmental stewardship, indigenous studies. All of those come together in this while you're teaching your own curriculum. Now, if you go down a little bit, you will have a sample of a lesson plan. Okay, I'm going to scroll up a little bit again to go over what's going to be in the packages. So there's going to be 15 packages for the teachers. Every one of these packages includes a lesson plan, a poster, a material checklist. What are the material like soil and seed and things like that you're going to need? Curriculum connection checklist for that lesson, for your grade, online access to all of those digitally, that PDF formats of them downloadable, as well as access to your student booklets, because your student booklet also has things in it that you would want to, you're going to be working with your students through the student booklets. And also coaching. So some of you might be thinking, oh, okay, this sounds fabulous, but I've never grown food in my life. And doing it in a classroom for sure is a different thing. And you are correct. Even if you have been growing food at home, well, that would help because you have some experience with that. But doing it in a classroom does have a few, tweaks and tricks that we first of all will share with you in the lesson plans and the package that you receive. But if you have any questions throughout these 15 weeks about how to grow, like growing questions or teaching questions, me and a very good friend of mine who is a seasoned teacher who has who ran one of our programs in 2019, one of the schools that we actually grew a school garden in 2019. He was a teacher there, and he's a very good graphic designer. He's very good with program development, and he knows the curriculum throughout because he's been, I don't know how many years, many years he's been a teacher, decades. So he and me would be available to you for answering your teaching questions and curriculum questions. So there's going to be coaching that comes with the package. And there's going to be 15 lessons, and for every one of those lessons, every one of your students will get a booklet, and the booklet will have a lesson page. It will have step-by-step growing activity guide, which will be very similar. Hold on, let me remove that so I can show you, which will be very similar to what we actually have in our Oasis boxes. So these are very popular. They're very engaging, and they're step-by-step. They're colorful, and they're a lot of fun to have. So this is only one part of the student booklet. Of every one of these 15 student booklets will have one of these growing activity guides that's a trifold, that's very easy to use. It will be separated from the booklet so that your students can put in front of them while they're doing the activity, will be included in that. So let me share my screen again. And obviously, you know, there's going to be practice word games, things like that, a self-assessment. For that particular lesson, there's going to be a journal sheet and probably more, because as we are talking and getting feedback from teachers, we are actually adding more and more to the student booklets. But again, so you're going to get 15 of these. Every one of them comes with a package and for the teachers and a booklet for the students. Now, if you scroll down on this page, you will be able to actually see a sample of one of our lesson plans. So if you click on that, you'll see a sample of one of our lesson plans. Please be aware that these are, please don't use them, essentially. This is just for you to see what you would receive in the program. And we do trust that our teachers are very familiar with copyright and they're not gonna actually abuse this. And this is one of our posters, just, you know, to give you an idea. These posters are like big posters. They can come in 2 different sizes, whichever size you want. And they are filled with very, very good information about that particular lesson. Every lesson, you will get one of these posters as part of the teacher's package. And again, as I showed you here, so every lesson will also have this is just part of the student's booklet that you're going to be receiving. So now you might be wondering, okay, so what are all these lessons that you're saying that will connect to my curriculum so well? So these are the 15, the complete list of the 15 lessons and their timing, because this is gardening, and gardening is very season related. It's very timing is very important in it. It's not like you can actually start your tomatoes way too early or way too late. It's not going to work very well, right? So week 1, which would be the 3rd week of February, we're going to be growing sprouts. Then the week after that, it's going to be microgreens. The topic is going to be sprouts and microgreens. Week 3 topic is seeds and seedlings. We will be growing arugula. Soil would be the next week's topic, growing tomatoes. And if you go on this page, now I'm not going to go through all of it, you can see that we talk about trees, we talk about sun, soil, water, seeds, biodiversity, beneficial animals and insects. We're going to be growing 3 sisters. We're going to be growing a whole bunch of things. As you can see, the image on the right-hand side shows you all the things that your students will be growing as part of this program. And all of this will happen in your classroom. Or an indoor space in your school. You do need to have a space. You do not require an outdoor garden, but you do need to have a space in your school in which there is a window that gets 5 hours of direct sunlight. This could be a library room, it could be a teacher's lunchroom, it could be an art room, it could be your own classroom, it could be anywhere, but there has to be one accessible space with good windows. And if you don't have that, you would need grow lights. So this is the only requirement. And you also need 2 teachers who are enthusiastic about teaching this. We're not going to just give you the program if you don't have, like, even if you pay for it, I mean, you would pay for it, but we would only want to work with schools who do have at least 2 enthusiastic teachers who are willing to teach this in their classroom and they know the value of it. So these are the lessons. It's very logistically flexible, as I mentioned. You do not require a school garden. Obviously, it's beneficial to have one, because all the seedlings that you grow, it would be fun and very exciting to actually transplant them in your garden outdoors. But that requires all those uh, it brings a lot of concerns, especially in these days, because the schools might get shut down again, and the school gardens we might not be able to actually maintain our school gardens. There are a lot of concerns about that. But even before COVID, and even before school shutdowns, the issue that always would be brought to mind. The first questions that people would ask me is, what if there's vandalism? What if there's animals and insects that come and destroy the garden? What if we don't, who's going to water the garden? What about the summer maintenance when we're not here? All of those had very good, very, very good answers. But there are very valid questions and valid concerns. With this program, you don't have any of those concerns, because you don't have to have a school garden. This is just to make sure that we teach our students food literacy, and we actually give them the chance to grow a garden that grows food, that has food in it, with their own hands. Get them connected with nature and good food. And we don't have to have a school garden to do that. This program gives you the ability to do that in your own classrooms. And you don't have to worry about summer maintenance, vandalism. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. While you actually teach your own curriculum. What's better than that? Like, this is the complete thing. Now, the educational, so there's going to be educational material, as I mentioned, which makes your life a lot easier when we're talking about logistics. The supplies can be delivered to you if you order the supply service from us. Now I'm going to talk about that a little bit when we get to that section on this page. And you might be asking, okay, fine. If there's no school garden, what am I going to do with all this food that we're going to be growing? Because your students are going to be growing an ample amount of food with a lot of success. Not everything, obviously, will be successful 100% of the time. That never happens in any garden, even for the best gardeners on the planet. But they're going to be growing all of these different things, and they're going to be growing an abundance of them, because that's part of what we want to teach them, that with a little bit of an effort, they can create an abundance of food for themselves and for their families. So that's what we're going to be doing, this program will bring. So what are you going to do with all of that food if there is no school garden to put it in? So a few of these that we're going to be growing, things like arugula and radish and leaf lettuce and spinach and things like that, you will actually be able to harvest in June and enjoy it with your students, which is fabulous. So some of this food during the school year will be actually consumed, which is an amazing part of the program, obviously. But there are also longer maturing plants, such as tomatoes and pumpkins. We will actually be growing. I don't know if you noticed, excuse me, but on the last day of the program, we're still growing. Like, we're growing pumpkins. So what's going to happen to that if the program is finished? So the fun thing about this program is that your students will be growing a lot of food that they might not be able to enjoy right now, but they can sell. So you can have an entrepreneurial program that you can run a market and sell it to their friends and family and the community. It can be given away as a to community centers around you, community gardens around you. It can be given away to staff and students to take home, so that these seedlings can get to, let's say, a community garden and grown there, or somebody would actually buy them in your student-led market and go and plant it in their own home. So the goodness and the abundance would be shared and spread with your community, which as teachers, I know you appreciate how much value they can bring to your program. So that's what's going to happen. And as I mentioned, it's online friendly. So in terms of in case of school shutdowns, all that needs to happen is you just send the supplies for each student with them with their backpack home when they're going home in case of school shutdowns. And what happens to your online students? All they need to do is to have a visit and a pickup of the material from your school, and while you teach them, your students in class, you teach your online students the same material, and they can actually grow it at home with their families. Okay, so now this is more for the principals who really like this program and the idea of the program, and are thinking, okay, how else would I be? Because this is not for free. We are not a non-for-profit organization. We are a very, very small educational organization who has gotten even smaller after COVID hit, because I told you the history that we actually had programs. I had facilitators that were trained. We'd go to schools and run programs, things like that. All of that, COVID actually wiped all of those programs out, unfortunately. So we're a very small organization. We are not a non-for-profit. So this program comes at a fee. So over here, I'm explaining to you how you would be able to actually have this program without purchasing it from us. And that would be for your own teachers to actually go ahead and develop this program. And this gives you a rough idea of how much it's going to cost you to develop a program like this. And it'll cost you at least $24,000. But obviously, that's not what I'm going to charge, because I'm going to be actually selling this program to many, many schools. And that's how I would be able to pay back, the teachers who helped me to run this program and all the effort and all the work that has gone into it. And obviously a little bit of a profit, because I'm a for-profit business. It's not going to be $24,000. So the main program, which is the online access to all of the lesson plans and posters and student booklets and teachers packages, would be $4,975 of an investment. But the good thing about that is that, let me remove that so I can see you and talk to you face to face. So the good thing about that is that it's going to be a lifetime access, and it's going to be for your entire school. So the licensing is for the school. So your school will get the license with this $4,975. You will get a license, lifetime license, to use this material for all of your grades 3 to 8 forever. Okay, so now a lot of people are like, why do you do that? Why do you give it forever? Why don't you, repeat customers, right? The business people say, what about repeat customer? Why are you giving this away for forever? You have to charge people every year. And I'm like, okay, so this is a social enterprise. My company is a social enterprise. I would like, obviously, I don't have any problem with money. I'm not saying that I don't want money. No, this is a very valuable program, and it has its worth. As you saw, you have to spend $24,000 to actually develop this program by yourself. And that's only if you have the teachers who have the skills, the gardening skills, the graphic design skills, the program development skills, and all of that to do it. Let's say you have it, it's going to be $24,000 at least that costs you to build the program. This is a valuable program. Why am I giving it forever for that low price? The reason is I want you and your school to be able to continue this program if you did not have the budget to purchase it again next year. I don't want you to start something and then not be able to continue it. I want the legacy to spread and continue in your school. And I want Kids Growing City programs to be grown. So Kids Growing City's growth, I want it to be based on more and more and more schools. And obviously, if there's upgrades to the program, you can purchase the upgrades next year and things like that. But this current version, you're going to get forever. So your school will be able to use this program, will be able to print all 15 student booklets for every one of your students without an extra charge. Every one of the teachers who teach in your school forever are going to be able to print the material and use the material in their classrooms. The coaching is going to only happen in the 15 weeks of the first year, obviously, but that should be enough. And we might offer coaching programs later on if you wanted to have more coaching programs, things like that. But this is, you only pay $5,975 for the online access to this program for lifetime, for your life. So you can download everything and use it the next year and the next year and the next year for grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for all your students forever. Now, for schools who might not have the budget, even though this is great value, we can provide you with only 5 of the 15 lessons and the downloadable material for all of that with the booklets and everything. And the value for that, I mean, the investment for that is $1,750. Again, lifetime access for your school. So if your teachers go to another school, they can't use it again. And obviously, students have to be in your school. But your school is licensed to use this material for lifetime. Now so I have to actually, sorry about that. I forgot that I haven't shared it back. So as you can see over here, there's online access, there's 5 lessons online access over here, and the amounts are there. Now we do have, as I mentioned in the beginning, we want to give you everything that you need. If you have the budget and you don't want your teachers to have to go find all the material, the soil and the seed and this and that, they will have the checklists for every lesson, so they will know what they will need. But if you don't want them to have to go purchase it, then we can supply that. And that would be the supply add-on option, and that unfortunately is only for the Greater Toronto Area schools, and that's because that's where we can deliver. That's where I live. That's where Kids Growing City resides, and that's why we can only deliver to that. Now, if you are outside of Greater Toronto Area and you're willing to pay for shipping of the material on top of the investment, you're more than welcome to order that, and we would be sending it to you as well. Not a problem. We can always talk about that. And that's for the soil and all the lesson specific material. I mean, the physical material, which is like the supplies, essentially, let's call it. And the add-on, the second add-on would be professionally printed student booklets, posters, lesson plans, and all the educational material. So as I mentioned, so let me and share it so that I can, as I mentioned, the inspiration for this program came from obviously our school garden program before COVID. And the box program that we had for parents called Oasis Box during COVID. And this is very, very helpful to parents. This was very helpful to parents because they get everything their kids need to get their hands dirty right away. The seeds are in here. Sometimes soil is even in here, and all the step-by-step guides and games and stickers and things like that. That's very, very engaging to kids. Now, the idea of giving you printing, and we've been working with printing companies to actually print very, very good quality material, and we thought that we could actually provide that to the schools as well if you want to have everything printed for your students, and so all the student booklets and all that. The investment for these two would not be per school, obviously. This would be per classroom because it's material that we have to actually produce and print and deliver to you, and it's per student and per teacher. So the investment for this is still to be determined, because we are actually in contact with a few different suppliers and that we've worked with before, when we were running our school garden programs, and we are coming up with the price. There's not going to be much what's it called, profit for us for these two. The only reason we're going to do it, we will probably give it to you the same, like time and material would be what we would charge. But we do want to provide this service because, again, the experience with the box was really, really the important success criteria for that was the fact that the kids actually had it in their hand. So for your teachers to actually have to print everything for students and all the headache that goes through that and all the expense that has to go through that and all that, you don't want to deal with that. We can actually print everything and bring it to you and deliver it to your school. And that will be very easy for you to actually give everything to your students in case schools shut down as well, to take home, and everything's set, everything's perfectly organized and coordinated, and there's not going to be any hiccups, anything like that. Now, I was talking to teachers and they were telling me that some school boards, TDSB, for example, they have printing facilities that the principals have access to. It would probably be a lot cheaper than when I print it out here. Even if I get very, very good deals, still, it'll probably be more expensive than if you actually use your own printing facilities that you have access to get this material printed. So I encourage you to go ahead again, because this does not, for me, it'll probably not be a lot of profit. But for those schools who don't have access to printing facilities, I would like to be able to actually provide that to make it easier for teachers. Same thing with the supplies. So you might be able to purchase the supplies, the seeds and the soils, and a lot of the supplies like the cups and seed starters and buckets. Like you have buckets, right? Like the bins and things like that that will be required for this. You might be able to get them from your distribution centers of your school board. It is possible that you can get it cheaper, and you might need, there might be a wait time, there might be some processes that you want to have to go through to get access to that, but it's up to you. So I am putting together the investment amounts for these two. As soon as they come up, I will update this page. And if you let me share this again. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, not very bottom, like close to the bottom of the page, you can actually put your name and email here and join the wait list, so that when new information comes out about this program, you are informed. So we send emails so that you can learn about everything that is newly developed about the program. So, and there are two very, very valuable bonuses that come for free during the 15 weeks of the program. I'm going to be there for you because I have grown school gardens since 2013. Well, minus the 2 COVID years, obviously, many, many years. And so I know the obstacles, I know the issues that can come up for your growing, the lighting or the watering or this and that, pests sometimes and diseases could happen, things like that. And I'm going to be there for you. We will have coaching and Q&A sessions together. How many and all that, it all depends on how many we have in the program and how it all goes. But we will set something that works for everybody so that I can get your growing questions answered. So, because your success is my success, right? It's very important to me that you can actually have a very successful program running at your school. So I'm going to be there for you. And also, I'm going to have a special guest teacher who is the person who has been instrumental in developing the curriculum connections with all of the lesson plans for you guys. He's going to be there alongside me to answer any of your teaching questions. If you are not sure how you can connect some of the material to your curriculum, or you have suggestions and you want to brainstorm it with somebody who knows how to do this, me and him are going to be available to you at no extra charge for the first year, for the first 15 weeks, the first year throughout the 15 weeks of the program. And another very valuable bonus that comes with this program is for every grade 3 to 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, every grade gets a reading list, a list of books, suggestions that you can actually use alongside this program to deepen the learning for your students. And I'm just going to quickly mention again, the program starts in the third week of February. It's for 15 weeks until the end of May. And we will open an application in January. We want it to be based on an application because. And there's this, before I unshare the screen, I'm just going to mention that at the bottom of the page, there's also an FAQ section. There might be some questions that you might have. For example, if I want to choose the 5-lesson tier, and I'm like in grade 3, a teacher of grade 3, which lessons are the best for me? So we have some answers for you down here, down below, okay? And make sure that you actually do go and put your name in the wait list so that you get notified about how it's going to work out. So now I'm going to remove that so you can see me. So the application process is going to be like, for the schools who do decide to go with the program, with either one of the programs plus any of the add-on services, you're going to need to fill out a very simple application. And the reason for that is we want to make sure that you have the space in your school, not outdoor space, but indoor space that is feasible for growing your seedlings with the 5 hours of sunlight or grow lights. And if you don't have any of those, not grow lights and not sunlight, you would need a very small space outside that you can cover. So you need covers for your seedlings, things like that. So we need to talk. You need to fill out that application to let me know what space you have. You also would let me know how many of your classes would want to be participating. We need to have at least 2 classes to participate. We can have Zoom meetings to talk about all the logistics and all that after you fill out the application, and we will choose the schools who do fit the criteria of having the space, having the enthusiastic teachers and all of that, and then we go from there. So we will open the application in January. Stay tuned for that. If you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to, wherever you're watching this, if you're on LinkedIn or Twitter or on YouTube, and later on I'm going to put this also on Facebook, wherever you're watching this, please feel free to put down your questions, and I'm going to answer them. Go to this page, kidsgrowingcity.ca Oasis Classroom wait. Make sure you're on the wait list. And if you have any questions for me directly, you can ask me by sending me an email at laylam@kidsgrowingcity.ca, or easier would be support@kidsgrowingcity.ca. Make sure that you ask your questions. We can even have a Zoom call and meet and talk, and I can answer all of your questions. I am hoping that this would bring an oasis to your classrooms this year. Let's bring some greenery, fun, excitement, hope, love for the environment, love for good food, some amazing food literacy to your classrooms. And your students deserve that, because we've all gone through horrible, horrible times during the past 2 years. And coming together with good food and growing and gardens and greenery would be the best way to bring back happiness to your students' lives, and amazing learning at the same time. So I hope that I hear from you very soon. If you're interested and excited about this program, let me know. You can do it anywhere in the world, all North America or Canada. The only part that I cannot deliver most probably is if you are not in the Greater Toronto area. I can't deliver the material to you unless you are willing to pay for shipping, and that's even a possibility. So the sky is the limit, and this is the most comprehensive program that we've ever offered. It's very logistically friendly, and it's COVID proof as well. So I hope that I can see you very soon and work with you and your school very soon. Thank you for watching, and keep in touch. Bye.